Welcome to the DL. This is the show where we talk about everything in the truck and equipment repair industry. It's my job to help inform and educate you on ways to help your business. We talk with technicians, business owners, associations, industry experts, manufacturers, and even a few you wouldn't think traditionally apply to your business. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the DL. I am your host, Tyler Robertson, the CEO and founder of Diesel Laptops. As you know, I love to talk about my two passions, entrepreneurship, and I love to talk about all things diesel repair. So today we're definitely going on the repair side of the equation. And with that, I would like to welcome our guest from a company you may not have heard of. You're going to after the show. So Derek with THINKCAR, welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Tyler. Thanks for bringing me on. Excited to share some of our products, what we got going on, and kind of get the THINKCAR name out there a little bit more.
Yeah, so we got some products we'll be going into here a little bit. One of them even has our logo on it. We'll explain that whole thing here as well. And I think more than anything else, can you give an overview of who THINKCAR is and what do you guys do?
Sure. So THINKCAR is we're a diagnostics manufacturer. We really want to bring value to the market. We're really gearing toward DIYers. We got a whole DIY product line, something that the typical mechanic at home can work on their vehicles. We have some really nice interfaces that they can use with the products to diagnose their own vehicles. But we also get on, and we're known for the professional side as well. So we have some of our professional tools here that technicians are starting to know more and more about. We're more heavy on the hardware side. Our tools are meant to really diagnose a vehicle. Unlike your products, they're not going to tell them how to fix a vehicle, but if the technician knows what they're doing, our tool will figure that out for them.
Well, don't worry, off the air, I'm totally going to hit you guys up about integrating some of our repair information into some of your tools. So that conversation, we'll talk about that off the air. But at the end of the day, so how long has THINKCAR been around for? Because I never even really heard of you guys until you guys kind of reached out and started engaging us with some stuff.
Yeah, so THINKCAR, the brand has been around for about 6 years. Manufacturing, the manufacturer's been around for over 40 years. So we definitely know diagnostics. We've definitely been diagnosing and manufacturing tools for a while, so we can definitely handle the market and the changes and all the new technology.
So before we got on the air, you were like, "Oh, hey, I'm kind of, you were in the HD and Automotive a little bit. Now you're here in HD."
Correct.
And you said it was about 18 months ago. So if I did the math right, that's almost when the lockdowns kind of started, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you come on board. Were you guys like us? You had trade shows lined up and visits lined up and all that?
We did, yeah. So obviously we had APEC lined up, which is the biggest in the industry. So we had to cancel a lot of that stuff, and a lot of that would have helped me learn more of the business. But we adapt and we got to make it work.
Yeah. Everyone had to figure it out real quick on how to not visit people in person because of everything that was going on. Yep. And the whole reason I bring that up is it's very similar to what we have at Diesel Laptops. So like I was telling before this, when we get salespeople that come here, they don't know anything about a truck, right? They couldn't even tell you two brand names off a truck. Maybe one if they got lucky and watched like a movie lately or something, right?
Yeah.
But then we've tried to do it different ways, and the model we kind of landed on now is we had this elementary class. I don't know if you got much of a tour. We had an elementary classroom downstairs.
We
at
do.
one
It's
point.
awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So it was an elementary classroom, and we did that free for the employees that had elementary kids. And we hired a school teacher. But then obviously the pandemic's essentially over now for all aspects. And we were like, okay, this isn't working hiring one salesperson at a time. We need to hire 3 to 5 at a time. So we kind of retained the name Diesel Laptops, and we hired now not an elementary school teacher, but an actual trainer on our products and services, and we sent our employees through a 30-day intensive learn the industry.
Yeah. Diesel Laptops boot camp.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much, because it is a whole nother world when you start talking all these terminologies.
I mean, it gets intimidating also for a new salesperson. They're coming in, they want to make sure that they do a great job, and the terminology I think is the biggest part where you start, you get a little intimidated, but you start working through that. For me, I'm gonna learn. If I learn, I get it in my hand and I make some mistakes, and it's gonna help me learn quicker.
So when you're talking to customers about your tools, do you guys get the question on, does it do X, Y, Z on truck ABC? Do you get that question a lot from people?
Yeah, we typically whenever we sell, they want to know. Obviously, the more the more popular things that it does.
Yeah.
So we let them know exactly what it does. We're kind of touching the HD market a little bit deeper now. But for automotive, the customers will ask, well, does it do this, then that?
Yeah. And it's a hard question to answer because you're like, do you realize how many make, models, and years, and how many commands and how many ECMs are on these things? And we say that in our sales department all the time when people are like, will it do this on that? And our one salesman finally just started asking, is that important to you?
Yeah.
And he's like, Tyler, 80% of the time they go, no, not really. I was just curious. So he's like,
they're just testing the waters.
Yeah, he's like, well, buy one. We got a return policy. If you don't like it, send it back.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
So it's really hard to answer all those questions. I know that's what consumers want, and you, especially with you guys doing a lot in the DIY side, I got to imagine that customer market's a lot different than the professional tool market.
It is, and the reason why is because mechanics know what they want, they know what they need.
Yeah.
Whenever a DIYer comes in, they think they know what they want, they think they know what they need. So we have ways to get to that customer, and like I said, our DIYer would use like a Bluetooth like this, plug in, and then they would use their phone and app to run the diagnosis. And with that, it's really easy to go in there and do, and it helps them out a little bit. That's kind of what we focus on, is helping them kind of navigate that a little easier.
Yeah, and I think I might surprise people. I have a 12-year-old car, right? Yeah. So I drive an older car. I got a little tool just because the check engine light comes on every once in a while. I gotta hook them and do to it. And I take that though, and I'm like, man, we need that in the HD world, because in the HD world, what I see is I'm on a lot of Facebook groups, and I'm on these groups, and constantly drivers are on there taking screenshots of the little display on the dash. Like, I have this code. What does it mean? Well, half the time those codes that are showing up are like generic SAE codes.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to translate them to like proper P codes or the proper Cummins code. And people just start guessing and spitballing and telling them ideas and telling them to do illegal, like delete the emissions, it'll go away. You're like, okay, just go fix the problem first. But let's talk specifically about some of your tools. And I think the first one to talk about is the diesel handheld, right?
Yeah. So the idea with the diesel handheld is we just wanted to bring something to you at a more entry level for HD. And the diesel handheld kind of does that, and it gives you the basic functionality as far as reading the air codes. But what it also does is your regen, or the DPF as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one thing people always ask for is, I just want to do a DPF regen.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, and it used to be, well, you got to buy this $6,000 tool, and then it was like, okay, we got this $4,500 tool.
Correct.
And now we're all the way down to like $500 or $600 tool to just read codes, do regens.
Correct.
And I think the important thing is always people need to temperament their expectations a little bit, right?
I think that's all learning curve. It's us getting the content out there to let the customer know, look, this is what it does. This is the price point. It's at a great price point. And there's a lot of value in that DPF regen. That service is X amount of money, and it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, basically one problem, you don't have to go to the dealer to do a regen. It pays for itself.
Correct.
Right? And, this one's obviously not tightly integrated into our repair information and everything, but it at least gets you the codes. If the customer has a mobile phone, they can go on our diesel repair site. They can look up the fault codes, so they can kind of get by to know, man, is this a serious thing or not a serious thing for around that $500 price point,
exactly.
which is huge in our industry.
Exactly.
So,
do I have to pull off the road, or can I keep going?
Yeah. Yeah, so, comparing that to the automotive industry a little bit, it's funny because now, to me, that seems, people keep saying, Tyler, why don't you guys do more automotive? I'm like, man, well, first of all, I know nothing about automotive. Like, I'm a heavy truck guy, an equipment guy. And I see a ton of tools in that marketplace.
Yeah.
And it seems like, especially online, everyone's like racing to sell it for the cheapest price and all those things as well. Yeah. So how do you guys do that? Because there's a lot of big names in the automotive industry already, right? I mean, you got everything from the Snap-on and Bosches to $20 code readers and all these other companies out there. So how do you guys position yourself and try to go grow that business in the automotive industry?
Yeah, like anything else, it's competitive. No matter what industry you get in, you're gonna face competition. So what we've done is, like I said, we've kind of driven ourselves to go after the DIYer, create some tools to be able to get them going. When it comes to automotive tools, there's software costs that come with getting into your systems and really doing a deep diagnosis. So what we've done is we've taken DIY tools and we've broken those down. So with a professional tool, you want every manufacturer out there.
Yep.
You want to be able to cover every manufacturer. Where a DIYer doesn't need that. They only need Toyota or they need Chevrolet. So we can break that down for them, and they can only pay for that software.
Yep.
And what we've done with our professional tools is we've just brought tools out that we know the technician can use, and they can diagnose 99% coverage of North American vehicles and 99% coverage of modules. So if the technician knows what they're doing, they can diagnose that vehicle, and we bring it to the market at an extremely valuable price.
Yeah. So what about, like, is that this guy here then?
That would be this one there. Yes.
Yeah, and what's the model of this one?
This is a Pro S.
Yeah.
ThinkTool Pro S.
So I know people that are listening can't see it, but it's this is definitely a rugged tablet, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't be afraid to drop this on the concrete.
Correct.
And it's not going to have a problem. Touchscreen, software looks nice, all those things. So basically for the auto guys, what we've noticed, it's really kind of weird. In the HD industry, when we sell these aftermarket tools, it's almost like the guys get really upset at us, the customers, when it won't do like one thing.
Yeah.
And then we talk to the auto guys, they'll have a couple different ones because they're like, well, that one's really good on import, that one's really good on domestic. Yep. It's kind of assumed, and it's a hard aftermarket game in truck. I can't imagine automotive because, like, how many car manufacturers are even on this thing? It's got to be a pile.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, and there's even ones on there that you probably won't even see in North America.
Yeah. So, and I'm assuming you guys kind of sell this worldwide.
We do.
This tool? Yep.
Yes, correct.
Cool. And I like it. It's got a nice small little, what do you guys call it? A dongle?
It's a Bluetooth dongle, so that way you can connect to the tool wirelessly, so the technician can walk around. There's got a camera on it, so he can take any photos, so he can relate that information to the customer.
Yeah. What's the range? How far away can you walk away from this thing?
You know what? I think I'm not sure. I want to say about a 20-foot range or so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about typical for Bluetooth. At least I know with my phone and music playing on speaker, it seems like it cracks out at me not too far away. And then let's kind of conversely go from the automotive full tablet here to the HD one that you guys have going on.
Absolutely. So again, as you can see, it's a rugged. It's if you drop it, it's not going to break. If you drop it a couple, 3, 4, 5 times, it's not going to break on you. It's been tested. Not only that, it's kind of a tool that a truck driver can actually take it on the road with them and really get into some diagnosing if something's going on. It hooks up to this dongle here, which runs a lot of the HD manufacturers and brands out there, and it's going to do a lot of diagnosing on all the modules and really it's really between the entry level, but it goes up the capabilities as far as some of your laptops that you have.
Yeah, no, it's a solid tool. We've obviously have some full-time testers here.
Correct.
We own trucks, on ECMs. We got a lot of customers we got hook up to. So I know they're out there running it through its paces, trying to figure out, where it is and how it plays in the marketplace. And I think just having a lot of options for customers at the end of the day is a really important thing. Yeah. And that's what people are looking for.
Yeah, and then what we've done also is because it's Android, we've also given the customer the ability to have a browser on there. So a lot of tools don't allow their tools to have a browser to connect to the internet directly. So if they need to search for anything, they can do that. Wi-Fi capabilities, so it can do a lot. And if the customer needs to search for something, they can.
So what I'm hearing is you guys need to put a link in there to click it right to our repair information, and we can tie fault codes right to us.
Yeah, we can do that, or we can put your app right on it.
Yeah, we definitely need to have those conversations. Yeah. So maybe a little prelude to what's coming. We'll see and everything. Yeah. Yeah. So what now? COVID's over. Is it trade shows are starting to happen again? Are you guys hitting the trade show circuit?
We are. We've already confirmed Apex in November. Yep. So we'll be there November 1st. This is actually our first trip out. We got a green light to come out here and visit Diesel Laptops, which we've been wanting to do for a long time. So it's been great to come out here and visit the facilities. Yeah,
we're still undecided. I'm really undecided what to do with trade shows. I mean, I know. One part of my brain's like, you got to be there. There's customers there. You got to go build your brand name, all those things. And on the other side of the coin, I look back at the last year and a half, and I'm like, okay, we did 0 trade shows. We had we grew 30% last year, and my bottom line's bigger than it was because I didn't spend $500,000 on trade shows. So we're all sitting here like, what do we do? And then we look at the data, and we kind of look at what did it cost and how many leads and how many sales. We try to do that. And our biggest shows, the ones we go all out at, we sell a lot, but the ROI is not as good as the little regional ones where we just send someone for a day or two. So I don't know.
I think for me, trade shows also play a role in the direction of the industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big value in trade shows because you get to go there and you get to see new products that sometimes may not even make it to the market. But, you get to go there and see the what's going on and what's up and coming and what other companies are doing. It kind of gives you an idea, kind of gets your brain going and things start working like that.
I will say I missed the networking. And that was the one thing we really pivoted to at the trade shows was we would go to the trade show and then we would do like a VIP customer event at the show. Like that was invite only. Yeah, so that was almost better than the actual booth because you got people to come hang out with you, potential customers and strategic partners and strategic vendors to come hang out with you for 2 hours, drinking beer and throwing axes at wood, right?
Yeah,
so
awesome. It's all those things that you don't think have value that actually do.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see where you guys keep going with this and everything. I know we're stocking just some of your products, obviously, but where do people go if they actually want to buy everything? Is it distribution? Is it direct? How do you guys set up?
We do distribution. We do direct to customer as well. We have our site ThinkCarUS.com as well, where we sell a lot of our products. We do some podcasts on there as well to kind of go over some of our products because the biggest thing is if we're going DIY, we want to make sure that they're educated on our tools. And like you said in the beginning, the lingo. Sometimes they get lost in the lingo and the industry talk and stuff like that. So
yeah, and I think it's really important with the DIY audience is not just like here's a tool, but here's a community, whether it's podcasts or a forum or something to let people just help each other. We've thought about doing that here too. Like we have a forum. We don't really push it hard as we should. There's still things that go on there. And the one I'm kind of leaning towards now is actually setting up like a private Facebook group. Yeah. So like a diesel laptop power user Facebook group and just invite all our customers on there. And I'm like, man, maybe they can help each other. I mean, and they don't call us, but I don't know if that works.
I mean, usually that's the way people learn the most is by their peers. So it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Everyone loves social media these days also.
It's a whole new world as now. We were talking a little bit about that. Like I just said, I'm not sure about trade shows. We don't do magazines. We don't do billboards. We don't have people out visiting customers and actually showing them anything. Yeah. So I tell it to people, and a lot of people are like, well, how the hell do you sell anything? I'm like, because there's a different and better way in our opinion. But to each their own. And you guys are making all the right moves. You're talking to the right people, and get your name out there. And it's hard to get into certain niches.
Yeah, we also have ATIS that just came out as well. We're launching our own ATIS calibration tool, so we're excited about that as well.
Yeah, for automotive, I'm assuming.
Automotive, and we're definitely going to look into HD.
Yeah, it's amazing how much all that safety stuff is coming up now. Like in the last year and a half, I just keep hearing more and more about it. I know the part that's interesting to me is it's like a prelude to robots driving cars and trucks, essentially, right?
It's scary, yeah.
Because it's really radars and sensors monitoring what's going on and alerting you, and it's like the next pebble throw is really. Well, now I got a robot driving my truck because all these sensors and things are doing good.
Those sensors are for the car to think more and for us to think less.
Yeah. So, and at the end of the day, every study they always do is it saves lives. It's like people fighted wearing a seatbelt back when that first happened, right? Yeah, and then it saves a bunch of lives. And it's really the same with all this other new technology coming around. It's interesting times in our industry. So the question I get asked a lot is, Tyler, you're called diesel laptops. EV trucks are coming, and you guys are doing stuff with mobiles and handhelds and other stuff too, right? Do you guys get the question about like EVs and electric vehicles replacing diesel? Does that topic come up at all with clients or internally?
Yeah, I mean, not as much in the automotive industry. I mean, we just launched. We have some Tesla capabilities with one of our Bluetooth dongles.
Oh, that's huge! Yeah.
So that's a huge thing for us as well. But as of right now, no, not as much.
Yeah, we're starting to, we get that question, but then when you talk to, I think it's outsiders that are reading headlines, and then when you talk to insiders, they're like, look, there's 9 million commercial trucks on the market. They're selling 250,000 a year. Industrial engines are still expected to grow like 3 or 4% a year for the next 20 years. Like it's an industry that's going to be here for a long time, regardless of
the growth is there right now, and the projection is still pretty big.
Yeah. So plenty of room to run there and everything. And then the other question I always get asked too was Tyler, when I first started Diesel Laptops, they were like a couple people that were like kind of a little naysayers. So like, Tyler, what are you going to do once everyone has a diagnostic tool? Yeah. Like who do you sell one to again? And I always point to the auto industry because I'm like, you know what? That industry's been selling automotive diagnostic tools for 30 years, and people are still buying them at a quick clip.
Exactly.
So I think both our industries are pretty safe for quite a long time.
Well, I mean, people love the latest and greatest tools. So whether they have one or not, they're always going to want the better one.
there's always new models, new coverages, new things, and the world keeps evolving and changing.
I mean, if a technician can change out a $8,000 toolbox because they want the newest one, I mean, why wouldn't they do that with their tool?
I 100% agree with you. So, well, with all that said, it's really been great having you come on here.
Yeah, much appreciated.
What did I miss? Did I miss anything at all?
No, I think we covered it all.
All right. Well, very cool. If someone wants to reach out to you directly, I know you kind of gave the website of the company out there. Are you on LinkedIn or email, or what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way, if you have any questions about our product, you can reach me at my email, derek.k@thinkcarus.com.
Well, you guys have been terrific to work with. I know I know these things are selling at a pretty good clip and everything.
Yeah.
We got great feedback from all the customers and everything. Excited to keep working with you guys and see where we can help keep solving clients' problems.
Likewise. I appreciate it. Thanks, Tyler.
Awesome. Well, hey, I always end every episode by saying it's not just diagnostics, it's diagnostics done right. And of course, you guys play a big part in that whole ecosystem.
Yes,
so
sir.
Appreciate you coming on the show. And with that said, we'll call it an episode. Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you.